I haven't completed my calculations.
I'll make them for you.
Good afternoon, folks. This is Darth Rabbit 07 coming at you from the back porch again. Nice out and about. And yesterday, while I was in town, right before I went dashing, I found the U-Wing at Target. I'll put the DPCI down in the description below. So glad that this stuff is rolling out. The U-Wing's tag was on the shelves about a year and a half ago down there, and now it's here. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, all the stuff down below. Thanks again for watching. Let's turn this around, take a closer look at the U-Wing. And here is the U-Wing on the turntable. Finally got this thing. I'm so excited to have it. Got K2SO, Cassian Andor, and Jyn Erso in there. It's number 82 in the series. That's what the front looks like when you got the pylons on. Inside the box, these are down in the bottom there. On the side of the box, it shows you how to install said pylons and make it look like it's ship shape for the movie Rogue One. There's a hologram of it and the hologram tech specs. You got K2 and Cassian that can fit down in the cockpit. The cockpit does open up. The wings, once installed, they got all that front to back. When it goes to light speed, you can take the rear compartment off and you can sit Jyn Erso in the back seat there. You've also got another clip to stand a figure up for the night spot. And yes, it can actually, in fact, hold up to 9 figures, just like it says there on the box. You got these neat little sliding doors that go on the bottom and go back next to the engines, just like it does in the movie. And out comes, on one side, one of those little guns. So there'll be another version of this probably made where it does the Scarif battle. And that figurine didn't come with this set, but I mean, it's nice that this is included. You got retractable landing gear, always a plus. So tickled to have it. Here's some of the light armor class, and I got to tell you, Target stores, you need to get this back on the shelf, as this is really hard searching Walmart's. Walmart's doesn't really update their stuff, and it's so frustrating trying to hunt these things in stores. I did manage to find all of these at Walmart, ironically, but then there's a ton of the other light class armor ships from Series 1 still clogging the shelves at 4 or 5 Walmarts in the town here in Asheville. There's a place out in Brevard that they actually got the newer ships, but not these ships. I think it was Series 4 because this is Series 5. Look at the side of the box. It looks like it might be the Battle of Scarif or some. I see a Star Destroyer there. And yeah, so this is part of the Scarif scene. If you want to pause and scan here, hopefully this will help you find in stores. So with all that said and done, let's get this contents out of this box and onto the turntable for review and measurements. And here is the initial crew in Rogue One of the U-Wing Starship class. You have K2, Cassian, and Jyn. Those were the 3 that were first seen together. It was actually Cassian and K2 that snagged her from the back of a prison transport. I don't know what planet that was. I have to go back and watch that movie again. But let's get some measurements real quick and get them on and look at them closer here. So Jyn, it's going to come out, whoops, and that's the bad thing about these. They're so teeny. But Jyn is roughly, she's under an inch there. She's about just a little over 7/8, but, or she is 7/8. So there's that. Then you got Cassian. And Cassian's going to come in at, if I can get him on here. Cassian comes in right at the 1 inch mark. I don't know if you can see that, but there he is. He's right about 1 inch. And let's get K2 on here. And my K2, a little bit word of warning, I accidentally broke the arms fresh out of the package. It was so packed in tight. So there's that. I super glued him back into the flight position because I imagine that's where he'll be shortly thereafter. So he is actually 1 3/8 inches tall. He is scale tall to go along with the other humans there. And that's really, really awesome. Some ship measurements real quick. From once the wings are installed in the front, or the S-foils, to the back end, you got roughly about 1 foot long that way. With it, S-foils on, the fuselage then becomes just about 3 7/8 inches wide. Actually 3 1/4 inches wide. There's that. If you do the engine area, that's going to be roughly 4 3/8 width. Height on the side there. Looking at the engine and stuff, You're looking about 2 1/4, like from base with the landing gear down to the top. The ship's going to be a little bit smaller, right about 2 inches. And from gun tip to the back of the fuselage, you're looking at about 6.5 inches. Now when you spread these wings out, it gets really, really wide at its widest point, which it never did fly like this in the movie, and these do tend to pop off its clips, C-clipped in. So I can get it back on there. That's kind of frustrating. At its widest, all the way across, I'm trying to do this real quick because I don't think anybody's done this yet. You got 20 inches across at its widest, but then when you actually get it back into its hyperdrive jump, and it will go back and click and swoop into place once you get that in there right. At that widest point, you see this thing is wide, guys. Looks about 15 inches from tip to tip there. So it's going to be really hard to display with the S-folds open, but this thing is a beautiful masterpiece of a micro galaxy figure. I love this shit. We're going to close these S-folds back up just for the sake of the review here. And you do get an opening cockpit with some nice weathering detail. Love the weathering that is throughout and the details. This back spot pops. You got afterglow and the thrusters there, and some weathering looking really, really sweet here. It does got some tableau going into what that does here in a minute. I love that this has got kind of like the X-wing back in, a conglomeration of the Y-wing, but like made to transport folks. You got a couple of blasters here in the front, and then you got the bay doors here on the bottom. So all you got to do is squeeze these guys open, and it'll squeeze back and open up. It's kind of hard to do, but there's that. So that just kind of pops out, and then it goes back, and that's a nice feature there. The gun actually popped off its peg that's in here on the underside, so you can totally get that recreation of play there. The other things that this thing can do is you can actually open the cockpit all the way forward to be able to seat the figurines down in there, and you can see the details down inside of the cockpit. Might get a hold of some blackwash to even like show the details, make those pop a little bit more there. Other stuff that you can do with this to get down on the inside of that, you can pop this up and off, and it reveals the hyperdrive, I guess. It's painted, it's very, really nice to the detailed. You got great details on the underside of the top of the ship. Here you can set it aside, and you can put your figurines in here. And there's that gun I was telling you about. It's on a ball and a peg here. I got my neighbor up the hill mowing her grass there, but that's okay. It's on a ball, and it will sit down inside of there with that little notch and a hole. And try to get this done real quick here. I'll show you that you can recreate the battle scenes from Scarif. If I can get it back in there, get it on there. And much like Transformers, I don't know why I'm trying to do this on camera. These things are so tiny and it's so hard to manage, but we might be able to get it there one of these days. Let me do that off camera. I apologize, guys. So when you do get that thing pegged back in, you can take and go from the top here with that opened up, and you can get that little blasting along the beach scene there. And not only does this thing open on this side, it opens on the opposite side. You can just take and pinch that open like right here. And what is super neat is that you can get it when you get it pinched out, like right here. You can get this thing, goes and it slides back down, so it hides and tucks behind there. You can see all the way through. You can see that my gun fell out again. It does got a C-clip for a figurine to stand there and man the gun as it goes along your simulated Scarif battle scene and let you blast away and whatnot. With all this to be covered up, you got 6 spots for figurines there, 7, 8, 9 spots that this thing can hold. So that's pretty ambitious for its size and the class and the stuff and things. It's pretty neat how they got these doors to do. I love the doors a whole lot. That makes it just like it is in the movie. You can put the stuff back on there. Let me get the gun back on there real quick. This underside setting is how they did it for the most part. In the movie, they had them walk in and out and stuff. They didn't necessarily have that thing in the way there, but you can like just rotate that thing on around in there, and you can shut those doors back in. It clicks back into place. Just so freaking slick and nicely engineered. That is so, so cool, guys. again with this side, you slide it back forward, and then boom, click, click, and it's back into place. And then you're ready to display it and do the stuff and things. I'm gonna try to get the figurines put into the ship. Thanks again for watching. Like I said, just be sure to be careful when you're getting this guy out, because I had to glue these arms back on. Very, very nicely detailed. You can see the Imperial symbols there on the shoulders, on both shoulders. Some nice paintwork there on the back. And now my arms are permanently fixed in the flight position, so I'm trying to get him in there and let him drive the U-wing and get the rest of them feeded in there. Give me a moment. And there is K2 inside the cockpit. He takes up a lot of real estate, and he's just pretty much sitting across both seats there, but he's in the cockpit. That's the way it is in the movie for the most part. Cassian's in the co-pilot seat. I want to say I can't remember. I have to go back and look at that, but anyway, there's K2 in the cockpit. We get the Jen and Cassian in there and get them seated. I don't believe they were ever in here like this, but these things are so tiny and so hard to get in and out. There's another look there, and you can close that cockpit up, and you see them in there like flying in the U-wing. So there you go. There's Cassian and Jen. All right, guys, let's get into some final thoughts on this awesomely pieced together craft. Some final thoughts on this U-wing starship. I absolutely love this. Like I said, it's part Y-wing, part X-wing. It's got the S-folds that open and close. It's got retractable landing gear, a total package. You got a see-through cockpit from the bottom side and from the top side. And you got several different other play features that I didn't think that would get added in here, like being able to remove that and be able to see that, the sliding doors retracting back. That is awesome stuff. The paint detail work is impeccable. I love the way these blasters look coming out of the front of this. This thing was like the highlight of the Rogue One movie for me, and I wouldn't mind having one of those turtle shuttles with the rest of the crew. We need to get Bodhi and Baze and Cheru, and then I think we got the whole initial Rogue One crew. Even though they were doomed, they were awesome Star Wars. They are still awesome Star Wars characters to me. They were the heart of the rebellion, the crew of the Rogue One, and then you got Rogue 2, Rogue 3, Rogue 4, Rogue 5, and all that. And I love how all that builds up into what we have in A New Hope. This thing is stellar. I just absolutely can't highly recommend this enough. I love having K2 in there with Cassian. And I've actually got Jen down here on the underside, sitting back in there, chilling with the big guns and stuff. And then there she is there, hiding away. I love the way that comes back to and folds up. So awesome. And then these wings, whenever you take these things, and there it goes popping out again, but you can get them back here and let it blast into hyperdrive. Just really slick, guys. I love the profile of this ship. I love everything about it, the wide wings, everything. And that's about going to do it for this U-wing from Rogue One and the Micro Galaxy Squadron, and then that pops off again. So you can actually pop it off and have it, you know, minus these big S-folds, but this is the look that I wanted. This is the ship that I wanted ever since I saw Rogue One in 2016. So I finally got it. Got some nice figurines. Ain't gonna take up a lot of real estate. Wouldn't mind if this got actually converted into a retail release. Like, I know this is Jazzwares Hasbro kind of thing, but Jazzwares really knocked this out of the park. Now I'm all over the place with this. Going to try to land this thing. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, all the stuff down below. I'm geeking out on Star Wars once again. So tickled that I found this finally after seeing those tags at Walmart all that time ago, and this is in hand now, guys. Happy hunting. Make sure to check the description, get the DPCI out of there, and happy hunting, guys. May the force be with you all always. Have a great day, guys.